Before we worry too much about where the season ended, I think we should all take a quick step back and remember where the season actually began.
I created a whole other existence. There's even a Flash, so I don't have to be. More like Kid Flash.
Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing Season 3 of The Flash, and oh boy, were there some ups and downs. All in all, I have to say I really enjoyed the season, although there were some things that I think when we unpack you're going to find that I wasn't exactly perfect on. Overall, my rating system hasn't changed since last year, and in the mid-season break, I said that this was an Electrum, somewhere between silver and gold, and I'm going to hold to that. I think that this could have been a lot better, but it could have been a lot worse. So let me state the obvious one more time. So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. Now, I give this show a lot of shit for stupid things, but there's one that a lot of people have been pointing out that I think they're missing the point on. Does this scene...
These, if you'd like. What kind of idiot still thinks I can't outrun bullets?
That guy should be the criminal poster boy for what not to do against the Flash.
It was early in the season, but does that scene make this next scene seem ridiculous? Did the time remnant of the fastest man alive just get shot by a bullet? Don't we already know he's faster than them? Well, surprise. He didn't see it coming. And you know what? If there's one thing we know about Barry, it's that he doesn't think things clearly through, and he doesn't always react with his super speed. If we assume the same is true of time remnant Barry, then he just got caught unaware. But okay, enough about that. Let's get into what's the good, the bad, and the ugly about this season, starting with the good. And the first good is actually three goods. Jay, Jesse, Wally. The Flash family. Now, when I was reading comics, the Flash was Wally West. But there were a bunch of Flash characters. And you know what? I really liked the fact that they brought a bunch of them in. I'm still looking for Max Mercury, but at the end of the day, I have to admit, seeing multiple Flashes working together is an awesome sight, and something that brings me back to my childhood. Once the idea of the Speed Force was brought in the comics, and since it's been there since day one in the show, the idea of there being multiple speedsters just makes too much sense. My second good is a fan theory, one that once I read I couldn't stop putting in my mind somewhere. Does the Flash live somewhere on the Asperger's scale? I don't know for sure, but I do know that he definitely shares some characteristics, and if so, it's probably one of the most positive views on having a mental disorder on TV. Now, for my third good, and this is going to come as a shock because it was a bad part way through, is them pulling off what they did with Caitlin Snow. Now, I am not a fan of the idea of, my powers make me evil, especially since we met Reverb and Killer Frost at the same time, and as such, you have to ask the question of, if Reverb was evil, doesn't that mean that Killer Frost wasn't necessarily evil for her powers? But they did fix that in the finale, and I was very happy. Although I wasn't happy with the arc through the entire season, I liked the fact that Caitlin had an arc, and it ended relatively well. Now, speaking of arcs, the other good one was this guy. Alchemy started out a villain, and did the reverse of what the Flash is famous for. He became an ally. I really hope that he sticks around next year, and I hope that they give him an arc, especially since we lost Caitlin. But that's okay, because where we lost Caitlin, we made up that with my next a new character. My understanding is that Tracy is going to be a regular next season, and introducing new blood to Team Flash I think is a big help, notwithstanding the Harrison Wells stuff. However, that's my next part of the good. Harrison Wells. Or what I should actually say is Tom Cavanaugh. Tom Cavanaugh has totally proved himself to be one of the most excellent actors in Hollywood. Not only is he capable of playing multiple roles, but he's able to make a difference. HG didn't seem like Wells from Earth 2, and neither one felt like Professor Zoom in the Wells suit. One final good for the season, though, is potential. The potential for next season. After everything that happened at the end of this season, I'm hoping for even more insane comic booky villains next year. I'm hoping for crazy stories, the return of Barry Allen, and, well, we'll get into all that over the next couple of months. But for now, let's talk about some things that aren't so good. The bad. My understanding is they may have fixed this for next season already, but oh my god, am I sick of speedster villains. You know what? We could have Reverse Flash show up for an episode. We could even have someone like Edward Claris for an episode or two. We could have mini arcs. But my god, please, no more season long. This person's faster than me. The correct answer is for me to run faster. In fact, I thought they didn't even do no, I'll get to the Savitar stuff in the ugly. But just no more speedsters as season-long villains, please. And no more Barry doing stupid shit that causes the problems. I'm really getting kind of annoyed at that. But that's pretty much most of the bad, except for the last episode. Not every show needs to end on a cliffhanger, and some cliffhangers make more sense than others. I especially understand when there are, hey, we don't know what's going to happen. And yes, Arrow was worse, but this was such a fake cliffhanger. So fake. Oh, the main character of the show. Do you think Grant Gustin isn't coming back next season? I have my own theories that I'm going to put at the end of how I'd like it to go. But I mean, come on, there's no suspense here. And that's not even the worst of it, because the worst is the theory that I was right about. I really knew that Wells was going to use the face switcher. Until the second to last episode when I went, no, there's no time. But then, booyah, Savitar's dumb and doesn't use super speed and doesn't, I don't know. And I guess this Wells could get across town and track Savitar. The whole thing was just so blah. Like, I saw it coming, but I wish they had done it better. The funeral itself was touching, and there was a lot of good stuff involved in the episode, so I don't want to make it sound like it was all bad, but that part was pretty bad. Moving on to the ugly, and the ugly this year is the fact that Barry Allen isn't much of a hero. Now, I know what you're going to say. Oh, everyone gives him shit. But no, I want you to really think about this. We went to the future, and then we saw future Barry, and then we met Time Variant, which means Barry up to a certain point and then getting dealt a shitty hand. If all it's going to take is one or two more tragedies to push him over the edge to not be a hero, he's not much of a hero now, is he? And if you really think about it, being a hero means being able to overcome these things. If, oh wow, my girlfriend died is enough to turn him off being the Flash and turning off being a hero, then he isn't much of one. People in real life suffer tragedies all the time. People sit there and have loves of their lives taken from them by cancer, by being hit by a bus, by being in the wrong place at the wrong time and shot. But at the same time, they continue on with their lives. Yeah, sometimes it's hard, but that's what you do. Flash's super speed shouldn't be what gives him his hero status. The fact that he absolutely wants to do the right thing should. At least those are my opinions. I'm curious what you think. Leave me a comment down below and tell me what you thought of this season overall, and my own opinions of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Was there something I missed, or something that you think I overstated? Let me know. In the meantime, I'm still going to do an entire Berlantiverse recap, and in that we're going to talk about a lot of the trends that we see in all of the Berlantiverse shows. So, be on the lookout for that, probably in about 2 weeks. In the meantime, since we know Flash is going to have a Season 4, I want to talk about how they tell their stories. Now, obviously, they combined the Blue Racer story, Cobalt Blue, and Savitar all to create Savitar that was Barry, and I wasn't a fan. But I do have a Dark Barry story I'd love for them to do, and I think they set it up perfectly. One of the first crossovers I ever read through Flash Comics. Wally was the Flash and had been for years, when all of a sudden, boom, Barry Allen returns and says, hey buddy, I'm back. But he acts a little weird, and then it turns out it's really Reverse Flash pretending to be Barry. And they could do that very easily. We already have face-changing technology in 2 different ways. We could totally have Grant Gustin come back and something just be off. I'd love to see that next year. How about you guys? Leave that down in the comments as well. Also, I wouldn't mind hearing your ideas. What would you like to see next season? Me, no speedster villain, and return of Barry Allen. For now, I need you to like, share, and subscribe to my videos to help me build this community, because the Flash is far from over, and so is my channel. I hope you all have a good day, and thank you for watching as we explored the heart of the stories we tell. Have a good night.